Hi, so as the title says, this is a video that will talk about, actually show how to fix the E02 ignition error. This is a triangle tube Solo 60 unit. We had it for about 11 years and it worked great. We obviously had a maintenance just to double check that everything is okay, and the last one was about a year and a half ago. From the unit perspective, everything was great. So at this point, about a month ago, I started getting this E02 error, and well, basically the way how it was resolved by just turning off the unit, waiting, a few minutes and turning it on, doing it a couple of times, and then it would start up. So it felt like it just can't start for some strange reason. I called the technician who inspected it about a year and a half ago, and he actually replaced the spark plug on it, and he said, double check that spark plug and connection is good, and I did double check, and it seems absolutely fine. Everything is feels fairly good. There's no corrosion or anything like that. So based on that, he said it is probably a controller board. Now, controller board to me, it feels like what can wear out, and one of the first things that I started suspecting are the relays that are on this control board. I had similar problem with an oven, so one of the first things, and replacing control board is fairly straightforward. It's not difficult, except the problem is that in Canada, that control board is about $1,200 plus tax. So before plunging and paying $1,200, I decided to first try to replace or look and check the relays. And one of the things that is pretty neat in triangle tube boilers is that in the user manual you can actually check how many times the ignition of the boiler happened over its life. And to do that, you have to go into info. So if you go into info by switching the mode, and you can step through. Now, mind you, the newer models probably have, or at least what I've seen, have a nice LCD display. This is just 7 segments, so get to do with what we have. It will list the number of ignition cycles in sort of pairs. So you have 3 pairs of digits, which gives you, up to 100, like 900,000 cycles. So the central heating is on letter I. So if we'll scroll to letter I, we'll see that it is 0, 1. So if we write down 0, 1, 5, 6, and 47, that gives us basically 15,600-ish cycles of ignition for that relay. But because I also have, besides central heating, I also have the domestic hot water, that obviously adds up to ignitions as well, and that starts at letter L. So that is 0, 2, 0, 5, and 65. So about 20,000-ish. So like in total about 36,000 ignitions. Now I've opened the unit up to check what relay is on the controller board, and based on the data sheet online, it looks like that it has about 100,000 cycles lifetime. I mean, we're about third way, so slightly more than third way into the lifetime of the relay, but maybe because the 100,000 cycles is considered in the specific types of conditions, and this is maybe a little bit more aggressive. It's possibly maybe there's some sort of oxidation or buildup. So basically, my first thing was to replace them. I've ordered the relays, and I put the link to them in the information below. So we'll remove the controller board and try to replace them and see how it goes. All right. So first of all, shut off the power, and let me zoom in on the unit itself, on the control board itself. Here is the control unit and a bunch of connectors that are plugged in. They're, well, mostly are all different, so if you're doing it, make sure, take a picture to note down which ones are which. And to remove the cover, this is the spark plug ignition cable, so that's fairly easy to remove. Same goes for the power unit. And then, using a flathead screwdriver, there are these notches or tabs that have to be pulled back right here and right here as well. That allow you to remove the cover. And that cable as well. Okay, so the relays that I was talking about are these three relays. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the schematic for this board, and that's why I ordered 4 relays just in case. And that is the transformer that provides the spark to basically to ignite the actual flame. So what we'll do is we'll remove just the board. I don't believe I need to, or at least we'll try starting with that. Well, it might be a little problematic, so no, actually we'll move the whole unit because I see that there are some plastic covers here that probably need to be re-glued again. So we'll first disconnect all the cables. That's it. And we're gonna go upstairs to my workbench, and yeah, so they definitely have to be pushed out of here to remove the board and disassemble it. Okay, so first we'll remove the screws that are going into actual plastic, which there is actually only one that looks like. And we have tabs that hold down the board. So what we'll do... Well, I sped up a video a little bit because I tried various approaches. Eventually the one that worked was pushing the pins through all the way. Okay, let me try to push that way. That I have to be careful for. Yeah, pushing it through seems to be an easier solution. Don't know if I can do it to this one. Okay. It is coming out. You do have to be very careful because if you slip, as you can imagine, you can get all the way through onto the circuit board, and that will be bad. It does not go any further. Okay, so we'll check if we can pull this cap off. Let me fully remove this because fully remove these pins and fully push out the. That's basically it. So yeah, so you have to push it through, and then these plastic pins will come out over here. Okay. All right. And I can see that this is definitely now removable. Okay. Trying to be a bit gentle with this. There you go. So inspecting the board, doesn't seem there is any damage or anything like that. So we're just gonna proceed with removal of these relays. Actually there are 4, so it's good. I guess I have 4 of them. And the model number V23061 B1004A41. So I sped up a video here again because essentially what I was doing was applying flux on every pin of the relay, each relay, and using a solder sucker while heating the pin. So basically desoldering each pin at a time. After trying to remove as much solder as possible, you can also use solder wick. But with that much solder, solder sucker is a little bit better. I would basically touch the soldering iron tip to every contact of the relay and move it a little bit, because just to make sure that it is not, well, essentially soldered to the barrel of the through hole. And then proceeded doing that to every relay. One relay was difficult to remove a little bit, but all the other ones were fairly straightforward. So be careful not to damage the pads or traces, but other than that, it wasn't such a difficult procedure. So we've got K1, K2, K4, K4, and K5. And now, time to install the new ones. So I'll do a little bit, just to touch from one side, just one pin to make sure it holds. Again, here, every relay was soldered. Just make sure they're soldered quite well. You don't have any cold solder joints. And after soldering all the relays, clean up with either flux remover, or what I usually use is 70% or to 90% isopropanol alcohol. We'll inspect the board. Looks like the solder joints are done well, and we'll put it back together. Okay, so let's put this all together. We'll slide it back in. This as well. So align it all the way to the left. Okay. And I guess we'll go and test it out. Okay, so we'll put these tabs together so we don't have to try to install it in place. And I will start, I guess, from this corner. It'll be the easiest. Well, let's see how it goes. I'll zoom out. See if it's gonna go through the sequence. The only thing I need is to request the heat. So it takes about a minute to do a startup sequence. We already hear a relays click. Well, so far it's running as needed, as it's supposed to, and we will check in hopefully a couple of months. I will report if it's still good and there are no issues. And in the meantime, I will disassemble the relay that was under suspicion, and we will see what happened to it. Well, after disassembling the relays, I will disassemble actually all four. 3 of them had sort of minimal or not significant wear, but one of them had quite a big burn, and it looks like that's the one that was sticking because it basically was fully black, as you can see in the picture. So far, unit been running for about a month and didn't have a problem. And hopefully that is the only thing that caused the issue. Hopefully this helps. Bye.